Hi, you're with Petrie, live from the Talk Radio studios on Talk TV and, of course, on the radio as well. If you are listening, though, to Talk Radio, do not forget that you can also watch it. Like I said, it's on the telly as well. Sky 522, Virgin 606, Freeview 237, FreeSat 217, and, of course, YouTube and your Talk TV app. So that's the way to get connected visually as well, if you'd prefer. Now, like I said, coming up at 5 o'clock, we're talking about careers, jobs. This is a time of year, isn't it, when you perhaps got to go back to work on Tuesday, where you're thinking, oh, I can't do that job anymore. I really can't. Hate my boss, hate the hours, money's not good enough. So there might be something that we can help you with. So we've decided to have an hour dedicated to you and any of your career questions that you might have. I've got an absolutely brilliant woman coming in called Lucy Bennell, and she is just brilliant. She's amazing. So get ready to ask your question. If you want to get it through, because we have been quite busy, if you try ringing now, and then we can call you back. So just to get you on the board, as it were, because it's sort of a queuing system. So if you want to do that, the number is 0344 499 1000. And we have been busy in previous days during the week and haven't been able to get through to everybody. So if you want sort of priority booking, I suppose, you can do that. Or you can message me 87222. I've got some lovely messages coming through this afternoon. I just want to read. This one is a little bit off the mark, completely missed the point here. You and Christo make Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks look like a couple of lame amateurs. It was the most romantic thing I've ever seen. Mark, you need to get out more. Your secret crush on him is finally starting to shine through, and I can tell Christo is changing his interests for you. He says I'm the reason he's gay. Right, I mean, he took one look at me and went, no, women, no. I put £1,000 on something happening in 2023, and that's from Mark. Thank you very much. It did make me laugh. Rachel saying, surely someone of your calibre deserves top whack in the wage department. You might deserve it. Yeah, Christo's just walked back in and literally thrown up. Mark reckons that we're in love. He's throwing up, literally. Thank you, Rachel says, if not, I'll happily shout your corner. And Petrie, it's been great seeing you this week. You deserve a primetime spot permanently. Well done. That's from Steve. Thank you very much indeed. Lovely text messages. Do send more in. What can I say, Christo? Obviously, it's obvious that you do love me. You've really upset him, Mark. I can't tell you how much. Right, let's talk about somebody who is worthy of conversation now. And that is Vivienne Westwood. Now, you may not know her work particularly well. You may not know much about her, but you will know her. Everybody knows who Vivienne Westwood was, because sadly, she has died. She died last night. She found fame in the 1970s, and that's why I'm wearing a 1970 jumper, in case you're wondering. It's just a little nod to... It's not a Vivienne Westwood jumper. Yeah, it's my birth year. I'm not that old. Got you. So I thought I'd wear the 1970 jumper. And joining me now to discuss this is Golhar, who's a creative entrepreneur. So good to see you, This is my sort of a little bit of a, love fest for Vivienne Westwood and everything that she did in this decade.
I absolutely loved the jumper, and she will be greatly missed. What an iconic, legendary woman. Honestly, she has paved the way for so many designers, created so much change. If you look back and think about how many people wore her clothes, like the wedding dresses, she made people happy. She made people feel confident. Another thing is, I don't feel people remember, but she actually, supported Richard Branson on designing some of the Virgin Atlantic workwear for individuals as well.
Right. Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
I mean, she was her truth. She was an eccentric, eclectic woman who has left a legacy, and probably one of the last independent designers that have left us, and it's sad.
I think the beauty with Westwood clothes as well, I've only been lucky enough to sort of see them in museums and places like that, is she really knew how to dress a woman's body. She really knew, without... Some designers you can say that of, but they would make them over sexy, or not every size and shape could wear them. But with a Vivienne Westwood, you could wear them because they cinched you in, or they were corseted, or, you know, they were flamboyant skirts. So she, although obviously her models were tiny, stick-thin things, her clothes could be loved and adored by women and men. I've seen a lot of men wearing Vivienne Westwood outfits, female outfits, who look amazing in them.
They do, and I think, you know, I think that's one of the amazing things about her. It was, you know, growing up, I went to art school, so my journey actually started in fashion, and actually I was blessed to actually have seen her, you know, do a guest lecture, because she also used to lecture back in the day as well. And just what a wonderful woman. And with her, you know, she really just was her truth. She did her own thing. She didn't follow the trend. She created a trend, and the shapes, everything about what she did was authentic, and it made other designers who were in the fashion business or in business look at ways of doing things outside of the box.
Yeah.
You know, she was remarkable.
She was an artist, wasn't she? And didn't let anything get in the way of that. And of course, she credits herself with inventing punk. You know, she said there was no punk before me. And she loved the punk era. She was absolutely, totally involved with it, with Malcolm McLaren and, you know, others as well. She was that scene.
Yeah. And I think what's so remarkable about her is she, you know, with her campaigns to fight about climate change, as you can see, like, she didn't care. She was going to use her voice regardless. And to make that change, to stand up for what she believed in, and so many others did as well. And I think that, you know, she wasn't just a designer, she was a businesswoman, and she was also a campaigner against, you know, the rights of campaign, climate change, and so many other amazing things. And she just was her truth, and she wanted to stand in that.
And also, of course, she supported Julian Assange. She wanted Julian Assange freed, and she wasn't afraid to be political. But she was a disruptor as well. She was a fashion disruptor. She was an art disruptor. She was a political disruptor. She like punk. She never let go of that, wanting to throw, you know, a cat amongst the pigeons.
And, you know, being in the creative industry, like in the fashion industry, it's not an easy game. And she did it. She did it.
Especially for a woman, oddly.
Yeah, she did it. And especially in the time that she started. And, you know, she was smart with it. Look what she's created. She's created a legacy.
I mean, she completely has. I was obviously reading stuff about her last night, and I'd forgotten this entirely, that she went to visit the Queen. I think it was to get a gong of some sort, and she went commando. She didn't wear any pants, and she made it known that she'd visited the Queen commando. Again, even as a sort of an older woman, she was a punk. She was not going to let that go.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things that I admired about her, like, growing up. She just did her thing. She didn't care what other people said. And, you know, however old she got, you know, she's probably still in her 50s, but she touched so many different age groups of generations. Like, you know, when I was growing up, it was like, wow, who's this remarkable woman? Look at her designs. They're flamboyant. They're amazing. And we're all inspired by her growing up and our designs, but she was more than that. She was so much more than that. She was her own person. Yeah. And, you know, it allowed, especially in the creative industry, people are like, wow, how has she done it? And they look at her business model at the same time. And it's about creating brands that are authentic. And she was that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I wonder if the brand will survive her going. I know that Malcolm McLaren is obviously he was punk, Sex Pistols, but you know he's got work to do now. Can it survive without her? because the brand is so much was, like you said, her authentic self. How can the brand continue to be authentic when she's not there anymore?
Well, interestingly enough, I saw a tweet from her partner, and it said that he had a lot of work to do that was left by her. So I think, I think it can continue. She has some beautiful designs and work that she's left. That she's built her foundation, and let's see what they do with it.
And I mean, I really admire her. What I want you to do, because I know you make you do knitwear. Do one with her face on it.
Yeah.
With a Vivienne Westwood with red hair.
But yeah, I can definitely do something.
Yeah, and I'll buy it I'll wear it on here. How about that? I love a jumper.
It's going to make me go back into design again. I came out of design about 10 years ago.
You need to get back into design something about Vivienne Westwood, and I will buy it from you. That's what I would do. Lovely to see you again. Happy New Year. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful New Year. I'm Golhar, the creative entrepreneur, talking about Vivienne Westwood. I don't know anybody who owns any Vivienne Westwood. We were never rich enough, right? But I would love to. I love her clothes, particularly the tartan. That's what I think she'll be mostly remembered. That's what I remember her for mostly, is the tartan stuff. But it was so beautiful. So if you do own any Vivienne Westwood, I would like to hear from you. So give us a call. And actually, you might be able to send us a picture or something of you wearing a Vivienne Westwood gown or outfit or something. That would be great, just as a little homage. Like I said, this 1970 jumper is my little homage to Vivienne Westwood, who really will be missed. Not always an easy character, I can imagine, but you certainly knew she was in the room. Right, there's more to come, so stay where you are. Don't forget, we're going to be talking jobs at 5, but also we're going to be talking about whether you would want to live to the age of 120. I feel that old, but I'm not quite yet. See you in a minute.